read this year, this was a standout, so here it is on the list. To the books, I'm not really doing these in any particular order, just the way I got it listed here. They're just all favorites of mine. I'm not ranking them necessarily this year. Alright, first one we're going to talk about is one that I read earliest in the year, though, is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read this during one of these readathons. I do not know which one, but it has stuck with me the entire year. I've thought about this novel. I've thought about how well written it is, how amazing the audiobook is. So listen to the audiobook. Oh, about the character's journey and her relationship with her family, and just so much about this novel that I just loved. Which I'm not going to go super into it. I think I did a review video of that one actually, so I might just link it down below. If I didn't, maybe I'll actually do like a little more of a mini review later on, because I still have I have notes on all of these, so I could do that possibly, but yeah, just a great novel. And next up is a middle grade series. I'm going to pick the second book in that series, which is 5, 6, 7, 8. The first book is Better Nate Than Ever. It's by Tim Federle, and I adore these first two books. I have not read the third book yet. Just didn't get around to it. But I read that first book and I was like, oh my god, I love this. I'm going to put a request in on the library for the second one, and then I read that one as soon as I could. It's this book series about this kid who really wants to go, and he wants to be an actor, he wants to be in musicals, and he leaves his hometown and goes off to New York to try to audition for E.T. the musical. And that's what happens in that first book, and then it kind of goes from there. The second book kind of has him coming into his sexuality and kind of confronting things you kind of get hints of in the first book. You absolutely get hints of in the first book. I even wrote it in my review for the first book that I was like, there's some queer elements here, and I see them coming. It really gets a little bit faced a little bit in the second one, and so I think that's probably why I'm going to put that one as one on my list, because I really liked that was something that weaved in after the first book. It wasn't the central thing in that first book, and it wasn't even the central thing in the second book either. And so I'm wondering if it gets seen a little bit more in the third, but we'll see. But yeah, I love the characters around. I love the main character's best friend. I love the aunts that we meet when we finally meet her. She's great. It's just a really solid middle grade series that I would have loved to read when I was younger, and I loved reading it this year, honestly. Next up, Reverie by Ryan LaSala. So I actually read this literally just came out, but I had an advanced copy from Nat Galley. So I started reading this well before it came out, and then I kind of was in the mayhem of everything with book club and everything else, and then I could put it down, picked it back up, and it really took me out of a reading slump that I was in, because I had only been reading things for my book clubs, things that it's man, I have to know what this is to talk about it, and not really reading for fun. And this is something I was reading for fun, and it really took me out of that slump. I just loved this. I love the idea of the reveries about these dreams and how they come to life, and kind of idea of dreams being powerful in different ways. I love the way that these people's powers manifested. I loved so much about this, so much so that I got this book from the book of the month. I literally don't get I don't do the book of the month, but I saw that Reverie was one of the book options, and they had a deal for first time book of the monthers, and I was like, let me go ahead and get it. So I want a physical copy, because I like having a digital copy, but I just like having a physical copy of books that I really like. So I went ahead and got it. Came in at the end of the year and just rocked for me. It's Jack of Hearts and Other Parts. Oh my god, did I not do a full review of this? I really should have. Possibly one of the most sex-positive books I've ever read in my life, and I loved that. The main character, Jack, super sex-positive, and he runs this column where he gives advice, and it's super sex-positive, and I'm just so here for this character. I'm here for this column, the advice that he gives out. I feel like if you were a person who is not really comfortable with your sexuality yet, or was still learning about different things about yourself, this is some of the things that Jack talks about in his column can help you. Going on this journey with Jack can help you. It's something I really, really felt from this, and I just love that. And I'm telling you, he talks about so much. From going off on these straight girls about fetishizing him, from helping a teen who feels like they could be asexual and just telling them that nothing's wrong with them. that like that's a possibility and that's okay. Giving advice on kink and anal sex and communication and relationship. There's just so much that happens in the story. Um, and then there's also the element of the fact that Jack, with this column, is getting stalked by someone. And it is scary, y'all. There's some, like, moments in this book where I'm like, these are not just red flags. These, like I am, like, scared for you, friend. Like, it was a very scary background element with the story, with this character that I really loved, which also makes it a little scary, I think, because you're like, you want Jack to get through this. You want him to not have to deal with whatever's going on around him. There's also some really great character development for side characters, and I'd read books on most of the guys Jack hooks up with this. Like, they were all really interesting to me. And I love Jack's relationship with his mother and his friends, but like the guys that Jack sleeps with over the course of the book, because he sleeps with multiple guys over the course of the book, and like, okay, because you can do what you do, Jack. I would seriously read books on all of them. If either any of them had a book, I'd be like, let's go. If they had a short, I'm like, I'm about it. I want to learn more about your lives a little bit. So yeah, including his ex. Like, I'd read your book too. So I don't know. This might have been my favorite. It's really hard to say because I'm like, Reverie was so strong, Poet's X was so strong, the book I'm about to talk about next was so strong, but like, I feel like this is one of those books that's just gonna stick with me going forward. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do need to buy a physical copy of it. This is one that I'm like, I read it digitally. I'm going to buy a physical copy at some point. I'm just gonna add it on my wish list until I feel like I can buy it or someone buys it for me. But like, it's on there. Okay, so next we got Bill Conningberg's The Music of What Happens. I love Bill Conningberg's Openly Straight series, and I feel like I've said this before with Open Straight that I think I like to honestly been better, and just the sense that I feel like each book he gets better in. Part of it was like definitely the character of Ben, but like I think he honestly just gets stronger with every single book so far, and this was no exception. Y'all, I was trying to, like, I thought that I was going into this and it was going to be a nice, cute read, but it got emotional as hell. Like, I cried in this book. This is the book that made me cry this year. I cried so much in that last stretch. Like, I was mad, I was feeling things, I was crying, because I cared about these characters that, like, Conningberg had taken us on this journey with, Max and Jordan, and I cared when things were affecting them the way that it was. Essentially, Max and Jordan are working this summer on a food truck because Jordan's family is going to lose their home. His dad died several years ago, and his mom has not been working since through grief. She's been having some other issues as well, and he's working to try to save his family home and take care of his mom. And so Max offers to help him on the truck. So he hires Max as a person to help him on the truck, and they start to get to know each other over the course of the summer and fall for each other, and it's so fucking sweet. Such a fun setup. I was very invested early on in the characters and the goals that they had for the summer. Max and Jordan, they both had different goals for being on this food truck and goals for the summer and life and what they were planning going forward. And they each had friends who were interesting. They had friends who I struggled to like at times, but that felt extremely real. Like, they felt like real people. The dynamics in this were very realistic. And all that contributes to how crushed I was with some of the events that happened later in the book. I feel like I was going through what some of the characters were going through. And like, if a story makes you feel that way, that's an excellent story to me. Yeah, talking about that book right now, getting me kind of emotional and making me realize how much I really, really adore what Bill Conningberg does with this text. Like, I'm excited to see what comes next from him, is what I really mean, I guess. Like, I'm excited to see what's next, because this book was just so, so great. But yeah, that's it for my 5 for books of the year, and also my 5 MM romances says eroticas, because I was definitely just a straight up erotica in there, let's be real. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you should tell me what some of your favorite books of the year are. I'm going to talk about comics and graphic works, but really it's going to be like comics and like one manga and like some web comics, and like a different video that should be coming up. I don't know if it'll be up by the end of the year, but I'm going to try. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.